எல்லாமே லைவ் தானா? சரி.
ரெடி? நல்லா எல்லாரும் ஸ்மைலிங்கா இருங்க. ரெடி? ஸ்மைல் பாய்ஸ். இங்க பாருங்க, எல்லாம் ஸ்மைல் பண்ணுங்க. சே சீஸ்.
ஹலோ.
சார் அந்த கேப்பை மறைச்சு வச்சிருங்க பின்னாடி.
அப்படியே கேப் எல்லாம் த்ரோ பண்ற மாதிரி ஒரு போட்டோ எடுக்கணும். எல்லாருமே கொஞ்சம் த்ரோ பண்ற மாதிரி.
சார் இங்க பாருங்க சார், எல்லாரும் இங்க பாருங்க. இங்க பாருங்க சார்.
ரெக்கார்டிங் கட் பண்ணிட்டா? ஃபுல்லாக அப்படி க்ரோ பண்ணுறது
நீங்கள் சொல்லுங்கள் அதெல்லாம்
You are presuming things here, PPT. No one wants to discuss on the system. What you want to bring now? System with copy, yeah?
ஏப்பா இன்னும் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன்
All this letting the people doing with Anita. Behave yourself. Go. No editing. No copy. Siringada. Hey cheese. Okay. Okay va.
ஓகே சார் தூரம் போடும்
தம்பி இதில் வேறு எதுக்கு எடுக்கணுமா இல்லை ஒரு பொருள் சொல்லி எடுக்கலாமா
இது பார்த்துறீங்களா ஓகே ஓகே தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ
Hey, send all the pictures. Yeah, then you write down.
ಇದನ್ನು ನೆಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್
லைவ் லைவ்
ಲೈವ್
யூடியூப்ல என்ன டேம் பேசுறாங்க கோழி ரெடி ஆயிடுச்சா சாப்பிட்டு
நான் உள்ள போயிட்டேன் டிஸ்டன்ட் ஃபுட் நல்லா இருக்கும்
Now you do.
That's it. Now we will honor you today, tomorrow, day after.
No, there are many singers. But only one songs. He is songs, not a singer.
PPT can sing?
Oh yeah, you can. What's the difference? I can sing as bad as you can. Ramesh, what's the difference? Songs to sing. Songster and singer.
Songster को singer को इतना difference है. Songster is a wider term. It means that you can even compose music.
Songster को spinster को अंदर पड़ता है.
இது யாரு? Shiva. Spinster. Shiva.
Right, he has taken doctorate in something like that. That's why.
You get mock days.
From childhood, I have had the habit of calling one person Shiva. My brother. This fellow is also.
He was B Shiv. Yeah, well, give the mic.
Okay.
Mike, you are just not.
Like when you paste it, every paste it.
Shiva, you have this question about spinster and songster.
It's just an option.
I think the best person to respond to this is Joe Tulsi.
That's Joe. Fine, Joe. Yeah, you got the right person.
This is something else.
Very rightly said.
A little later. Joe, a little later, not now. A little later. He's got a lot of stories to tell about things. So, I mean, he said this 25 years back. Now we want it again.
Let them start.
Yeah, come.
Yeah. Give me another 25 years. Joe, Myanmar is close to Thailand. Yeah.
Because most of you got Mr.
Evening all.
You were there.
Evening all. My apologies for the chaos.
No, you don't have to put this.
And for that I will sing a song.
Yeah,
You have to tolerate because I don't have music.
What music you want?
Okay, but you must tolerate. First song. And I will not sing one song. I keep singing.
Medley.
ராகங்கள் பதினாறு உருவான வரலாறு நான் பார்க்கும்போது பல நூறு ராகங்கள் இருந்தாலும் 16 பாடல்கள் சுகமானது. பல நூறு ராகங்கள் இருந்தாலும் 16 பாடல்கள் சுகமானது. பெண்ணொன்று கண்டேன் பெண்ணொன்று இல்லை என்று நான் சொல்லலாகுமா என்று நான் சொல்ல வேண்டுமா நான் பார்த்த பெண்ணை நீ பார்க்கவில்லை நீ பார்த்த பெண்ணை நான் பார்க்கவில்லை உன் பார்வை போல என் பார்வை இல்லை நான் கண்ட காட்சி நீ காணவில்லை துள்ளி வரும் வெள்ளி நிலா துள்ளி வரும் வெள்ளி நிலா தோன்று விழும் கொடியிடையா தோழ்ந்து விழும் கொடியிடையா என்னோடு விளையா நல்ல பெண் நல்ல The next is, this film was shot for 45 days and the music was done in 15 days and all songs were hits. Any guess? Kathaloor by Sandal. Also another part because from 7th standard to 9th standard I learned violin. And I got to 3 grades.
Didn't bring your violin.
I didn't bring it. That I forgot because 50 years back I left it.
Violin,
Huh? கைப்பட்டு புண்ணாய் கண்ணுங்களே தள்ளாடி தள்ளாடி அழுமிட்டு அவன் சொல்லாம கொள்ளாம அவளிடம் நான் சென்று அவன் நாளை கண்டேன் நாளை என்றார் நாளை என்றார். நிலவே என்னிடம் நெருங்காதே நீ நிற்கும் இடத்தில் நான் இல்லை. மலரே என்னிடம் மயங்காதே நீ மயங்கும் வகையில் நான் இல்லை. நிலவே என்னிடம் நெருங்காதே நீ நினைக்கும் இடத்தில் நான் இல்லை. கோடையில் ஒரு நாள் மழை வரலாம், கோடையில் ஒரு நாள் மழை வரலாம். என் வாழ்வில் இனிமேல் எழில் வருமோ, காலையில் ஒரு நாள் துயில் வரலாம். என் வாழ்வில் இனிமேல் சுகம் வருமோ, நிலவே என்னிடம் நெருங்காதே நீ நினைக்கும் இடத்தில் நான் இல்லை. அடுத்து another song. பாடாத பாட்டெல்லாம் பாட வந்தான், காணாத கண்களை காண வந்தான், பேசாத மொழியெல்லாம் பேச வந்தான், பெண் பார்வை நெஞ்சிலே ஆட வந்தான், பெண் பார்வை நெஞ்சிலே ஆட வந்தான். Any other song?
நேற்று ராத்திரி
உன்மகனே கொடுத்து எடுக்கமா கொஞ்சம் எனக்கு நேற்று ராத்திரி எம்மா கொக்க போச்சடி எம்மா அது மாதிரி தெரியல. Any other specific topic? All right, back up.
ஏதாவது சிறுக்கு பாட்டு தெரியுமா?
Thank you. Sorry, because I need to do a little more practice. And with the music, maybe I can.
The music you practice with the he doesn't need my coach. I need his coach.
No. So now I would like Giri to sing. Before that, I would like to thank the organizers for doing an excellent job. This we must say because it's not very easy to organize such things. And I forget my telephone number. Now I am remembering my house number. I am frightened because suppose I forget and enter the next house. I don't know what broomstick beating I will get.
It might turn out to be a very beautiful dancer.
You asked for it. I asked. So now I am going to ask someone to sing a song. That option I can have. Come.
Who's that? Sing like
கை கட்ட மாட்டீங்களா பாருங்க.
Teach them how to
I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I have to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down at the market, you can hear ladies cry out while on their heads they bear. rice all fish are nice, and the rum is nice. And the rum is nice on the other time of the year. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I have to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Sounds of laughter everywhere, and the dancing girls sway to and fro. I must declare that my heart is there, though I've been from Maine to Mexico. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I have to leave a little girl in Kingston town. When the sun shines on the mountain and the night is on the run, it's a new day, it's a new way, as I fly up to the sun. I can feel the morning sunlight. I can smell the new morning. I can hear God's voices calling from the golden starlight way. Una paloma blanca, I'm just a bird in the sky. Una paloma blanca, over the mountains I fly. No one can take my freedom away. Once I had my share of losing, and they locked me on the chain, and they tried to break my power. Oh, I still can feel the pain. Una paloma blanca, I'm just a bird in the sky. Una paloma blanca, over the mountains I fly. No one can take my freedom away. Yes, no one can take my freedom away.
See, Ram asked me to send in welcome address to you all, but actually I really don't know what to say because welcome is for guests, not for members of the same family. So we have been living less, few maybe a little less. So then, but then we have to thank guys like maybe we have done a little work, but think about guys who have come. I mean, everyone have taken a lot of pains to come over here, but especially guys who have come from very far off places like overseas, especially overseas. Joe, he's taken so much of trouble. Like last minute, he has been able to come, and we feel sorry for guys who are not been able to make it also here. Yes. Lot of people, and so we'll be sending them probably the t-shirts and all these photographs, and that's all, only that much we can do. Especially like Krishnan, Saifi, Sushant, they've been in regular touch. Yeah. So it's sad that they're not here. So that is one thing, and then we have to remember at this stage our teachers, like Arelika, I think Rama gave from the first class started one, like Mrs. Quinn, Mrs.
Let's read out from those pictures.
No, that's later. That's later. Mrs. Calasso,
Mrs. Gonzalez,
Mrs. Gonzalez,
Mrs. Queen,
Mrs. Queen. I don't know how many of you remember Mrs. Barclay.
Oh yes, Mrs. Barclay, that bitch.
Yeah, she was really scary.
Yeah, this is
Mr. Michael, Richard White.
Yeah, no. What is Mrs. Barclay? Really scary. Really scary. Demonti.
Mr. Lazami.
What are the Fuchs? A little, yeah. They were not that good. And when we came to a little, maybe around 6th, 7th, late, the culture had changed. When all these old teachers had left school, then it started changing. But somehow it was they were able to maintain it. And teachers, other than the teachers, Mr. Fowler, Doc, all these days we cannot forget. And more than that, the people who are not with us today.
Agreed. Mr. Ram has been traveling from 5th standard to 11th.
Mrs. and Mr. Ram.
You can't forget Miss Matthews.
Mrs. Matthews, and moreover, Mr. Ratnavila and Mr. Parisami. Swaminathan,
Philip, Kochi.
Showing his movies, he was famous for that. Most of the movies will never, the whole thing will be no shot. Some problem with the other.
ST.
Yeah, a little later. And then, of course, he has some other guys who are not with us.
Give me 1 second. We'll have 1 minute.
Sure.
Yeah, but let me finish.
I think we can stand the results for a minute.
After you finish.
Like, one is Malcolm's friends, and of course the other persons are Neil Rockstock. He was a leader everywhere. In school, Neil, when he went out, he was leading all the organizations. He was the vice president. Peter, right? Yeah. He was vice president of A.P. Thomas and Company. He was heading a lot of organizations there. So he was the leader, and then of course our own, the person who conducted the last meet. He done a wonderful job. You cannot forget it. I mean, like actually, you cannot do a thing like what he done. And then Kamaljeet Singh, he was such a quiet guy, and somehow we lost track of him most of the time, and that was it. And Sarthapan, last week he was there. Yeah, and I want to remind you guys, when I was in the second sergeant, he gave me a plastic box of sweets. I still got the plastic box with me. So his sister's been Polish, I want to hand it over to her. So I'll be doing it soon. Bala is in touch with us. And of course, flamboyant Pradeep Nayak. I cannot forget it. Murli, and we were in touch with Pradeep Nayak till the end. But his son and wife are in Bombay. Murli?
Yeah.
They're fine.
Son is an architect, and his name is Rahul, and the daughter's name is Shruti.
Okay. And of course, Rajan, he was always very close, very affectionate guy, very close to all the borders, very close. Till the time of his death, I was in contact with him, and almost for half.
Your constant TT companion.
Yeah, TT companion. Yeah. Like I taught him play with him. He became a companion, and we played a lot of matches together. The double matches. Can't remember the match can't forget the match at St. George's Homes, where we beat those guys after losing in hockey and cricket. And then they had this match, table tennis match in the night, and we finished them easily. And of course, Babu Shere, a quiet and a great footballer he was. Premnath Menon, a very quiet guy. He died around 4 or 5 years back in Malaysia.
Alzheimer's.
And recently, the great sportsman he was, Kanthaloor. It's unfortunate that he's not there. Otherwise also he would not have made it, but he is no more. A very good sportsman he was. Once in Manila, I remember. So thanks to all the guests who have taken so much of our especially at this stage. It's not very easy to get to a train and come. And of course, our thanks to the staff of this resort. Jairam, Sandal, Casa, Jairam, Jordan and all, because they are helped out a lot. They're very cooperative, and they do the best to help us. So that's it. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah. Oh, let's stand for a minute.
Silence for a minute for our classmates. I'm very glad. Important classmates.
Thank you. Well, once This should never be forgotten like the last meeting. 20 years and still fresh in my mind. So just do what you want, have a good time, that's it.
Are any of our teachers still alive?
Mrs. Matthews is still there. She's around quite old. Actually, they wanted us to come to school before this meet. So,
He
then we said, like, if you spend time in the school, you won't be able to reach for lunch here. So that's what it was, that was the answer. But if you're very particular that you want to school information, we can make it. See, I've been in agriculture school from the time I left college. Since then I've been in agriculture, I've still that. I'd like others to come forward and say what they've been doing so long.
No, everybody you ask them to come speak.
One by one.
So we'll have our senior,
4 minutes each.
1 or 2 minutes. We'll have our senior and the great sportsman who still holds the record in the cross country. Still a great man. Come on, Watson. Please take over.
No break.
Thank you very much. I'm really grateful to be in the midst of you. I thank God also. And very grateful to Giri. Actually, I could not have made this occasion because we had a lot of expenses. My son's daughter was born only 5.5 months. Very premature child. She was only this much. Yeah, and she's grown up now, about 2.5 years now, and she's very playful, very clever, and we spent about 17 lakhs, and it was God's grace that she's living, and she's a living testimony. And here, when I come here, I've seen a lot of faces that were very close to me. And while traveling also we were exchanging our views. And Rajakumanikam, he was also very close to me. And many of our people who are here, Murli, I cannot forget. And whenever somebody used to bully, they used to come to me and tell me, Watson, just take care of that. So, because I was a boxer. Yeah. So all those things I cannot forget. And my wife actually, she wanted to participate. But it so happened she couldn't come because my mother became very sick and she was treated, and she's about 94 years. And she sent her greetings to you all. Maybe she will come in the next meet, if God willing. And here I see all your faces as though you're all young boys. Really, you don't even know us. Yeah. And really, Anita, I cannot even forget how she was. And still, she's very energetic.
Thank you.
And very active. Thank God that we are all. And Jnana Pradipan, he came to me and spoke to me on the line, and he had come across a lot of difficulties in his life. He's got a second life. Maybe most of you don't know it. He almost died, and he was sharing his testimony, how he had survived the typhoid, and nobody was there to take care of him. His mother passed away. His wife was deserted him. And actually, he was in a very upset mood. And actually he said, don't worry, we are all there. And most of our people said, don't worry, we are all there to support him. And I think he feels very energetic after coming here. And from Kerala, I have some people here, and they have become very close to me. And I think Peter is from my wife's native place, strict. And another, what I cannot recollect your name. Nasser is from Qatar, but since he is from Kerala, he has also been talking in Malayalam, and another person also close to him. So we all became very close because of our native places and our relations and all that thing. Our beloved who is sitting here, he is entertaining us in his songs, because I am a singer and I mostly sing only religious songs, so that's why I never came forward to sing. And he sings wonderfully, and actually he's got a very good voice, vocal voice. And I think next time I thought of bringing my guitar. Yeah, next time maybe he can bring his violin and we can bring a guitar and we can entertain well. I think musical instruments would be good. That's my only suggestion. Yeah. And Raja Manikam is a drummer. He told me he's a drummer.
He's everything.
Yeah. Very good. Really, I enjoy.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Watson.
See, as you know, we had 3 gems in our class. Of course, one was K. Krishnan, the other was, of course, the man sitting nearby, Ramesh, and the third is the person sitting there with the clap, Sudhir. Yeah. So one among them I would like you to come and speak. Come on, Ramesh. Yeah. Come over. He's the Say a few words how you came first in those days. You're always the first. These fellows are always.
I don't want to let out my secrets.
Oh.
Diana knows that I have told her once one of the secrets. I was not there for the previous reunion, which was 25 years ago. And but Sudhir was there and he gave me some descriptions of the kind of reunion that it was. And it's been so touching to come back and meet with all of you and feel as though we never left school. But with so many of us, we never left school. I mean, it's like I'm still playing with you guys. Whether it's Rama or Raghu or Giri. Giri and I have been spending almost 3 days with each other right now. Though he's got his family and so on, most of the time we've been spending with each other at his farm. It's been really very touching. I don't know what it is that you might want to know about me. If there's anything that you want to know about me, then I can, if you ask, I will answer those questions.
I think it's nice to relaxing in the evening.
Pardon?
While having a cup of coffee or tea.
Cup of coffee is the last thing that I wanted.
I meant coffee means the ladies and gents for the tea.
The last questions after you.
Yeah.
After you loosen your tongue.
Actually, my one is already
So I think people will be the best person to question ask.
anything.
Very fun if you ask that.
He is the best. Anita.
PPT wants to ask me questions only in the evening.
That's what he was just telling something at the back that after 2.
That's over the.
But in essence, after I left Staines, I continued my studies, and I was accompanied in my study programs by Sudhir as well as E. Rajendran. You might remember E. Rajendran. E. Rajendran, of course, chose to become an engineer, a hardcore engineer, while Sudhir and I decided that we will become fraud engineers. And therefore, we decided to take up management, and we became fraud managers. That's how it was. But I stuck to the discipline of management, and I decided to study even further, and did a PhD from the IIM Ahmedabad. And I became a faculty member in course of time, and I have been a professor for the last 30 years. I retired about 5 years ago, and I decided that I will not have anything to do with my profession of a professor of management and so on after I retired, and I'll focus on my hobbies, amongst which singing is one of them. singing, cooking, travel, and meeting with friends. Meeting with friends is a very big thing, and I spend a lot of time meeting with friends. So that's what I've been doing all these days. Health-wise, thankfully, I'm good health. Though I've had a couple of heart attacks and operations and so on, but I feel I'm good health. That's about me.
Thank you. So many important things coming. Still cheerful. And of course, next I want my cricket captain. I want my cricket captain is looking all around. As I doesn't know anything. No. Sudhir, come on.
I can't talk. That's a problem.
Don't hit sixers. You see, it was always a very quiet guy.
You can go over the maidens.
Yeah. And of course, we are having a cricket match. If there's enough fight after this, so we can see this guy. There's Murli bowled, and both of us will be batting. Yeah. And the ace hockey player Abdul Nazar will be there. Like I wanted to bring some hockey sticks. I had a few. Just got a cricket ball, bat ball.
Nothing much to add actually. I think Ramesh everywhere we went, I went to bits also with him. He maxed it and went around. I was always second or third, things like that. So as in school. So okay, and then he went and joined Ahmedabad. I did my PhD from IIM Calcutta. Again, this guy never, always the top. Somehow I've not been able to manage it. So I need to crack it for another year.
I'll fix it tonight. Tonight.
You played the wrong game.
And again, I did my PhD, but I again flunked out because I have not got into teaching. Except the last 3 years, I always got into corporate life. Corporate life was far better, far easier to handle than, teaching. Teaching is one of the toughest jobs. It is what I found. In my last 3 years, I tried to do some teaching at Myra School of Business in Mysore, which is not one of those top schools. But even that was tough enough. So I've given up now after 3 years. But Ramesh, entire life of teaching, extremely impressive. So that's another thing. What else? And of course, both my kids, what did they do? Yeah, that's it. Basically 2 kids. My daughter is now doing her, she's working with some social impact fund in Canada, Toronto. They've settled down there. She's been married 8 years. My son is now doing his PhD in neurosciences in Seattle, University of Washington, Seattle. And I think a whole lot of kids, your kids are also there in those places. I know Krishna's daughter is in
my son was in Seattle.
Correct. So I'm sure a lot of them will meet in the second round.
The second generation.
Yes.
All the grandfathers.
All our grandfathers were
Anybody who's not a grandfather?
Yeah.
I'm not putting on my hand. The question doesn't go.
Okay. So anything else? Anyone wants to know anything?
No, how do you bowl? You should.
That will see. That will see. No giving up there.
Hey, he still plays cricket. No
giving up there.
Smelling cricket.
Because that is out of this. Bowling is very good. Getting
Maybe tomorrow we got enough time. Twice. Yeah, the mornings is better. And I think next we'll have Anita to speak. She's the most popular among the lot here.
I would just express my feelings through the podcast.
That's right.
Just a song.
Take the mic.
Small place.
I can't hear you.
It's the love that I found ever since you've been around, and your love puts me at the top of the world.
Who next? What do you
Against you. Come on.
I'm going to call Nasser. His brother was here, and Peter was able to locate his brother. He helped me in locating this fellow. It was quite a long time. We lost touch with him for several years. Yeah, maybe 40 years. Peter was the first to help me get the student Sunday. Surprising us. And he was quite tiny, very bright one. Very naughty. Just like his grandson now. His grandson has a record of breaking two new TVs. Not a big surprise because this fellow was like that also. Not a big surprise. Yeah,
but in school he was quiet. That's why he was quiet. They used to call him Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, because it's tiny.
In school, I was like Mera Bari Kab Aayega. I was never in any of the school teams. 11, 12, like that, There used to be like I used to be on the substitutes, but never played. I think I got one game against the old boys, and I was really thrilled. But I think the stage thing took me. I went into RC Calicut. After that, went to Doha. And I think this what I learned from stages. Like I was master of none, but I had the jack of many trades. And like when the hockey, which like I was nobody in states, but when I went to Kerala, I realized that I was one of the better players in Kerala. Definitely goes to states for that. And then when I went to Qatar again.
Man, how many guys played for Kerala State from States?
States.
That year.
David was there. Rajesh was there. Peter, you played? No. Yeah?
Peter was in Kerala.
Ombre Castellino, I don't know if you remember.
Castellino, yeah, there was
Cristobal and Ombre. So they played. So I'm saying we had a lot of.
No played with this.
Yeah, no play.
No.
But I was not in that period. They did before us.
Yeah, before us.
Yeah, so. And
that's all.
And when I went to Qatar again, like we had 3 teams. One was a core Pakistani team, there was a core Indian team, and then there was a team of all other nationalities where hockey was taught. So the Indians, they said like a guy from Kerala has come.
You got back to that?
No, they didn't invite me. They said Kerala doesn't have hockey. So I was not into that. I was not like they didn't invite me to play, and so I went and joined another team. And fortunately, again, I think I did well over there. And I think my achievement, what I would say, is more than academics or my job, my profession or anything. Hockey, I did a lot, but I think I could do it in Qatar. I was made the Secretary General of the country for the 2006 Asian Games. We formed a team, and the team went on to win the bronze in Asia in indoor hockey. We were ranked around 20 in the world at that time.
Oh, fantastic.
The good thing is India and Pakistan don't play indoor hockey, but we beat Malaysia. But then I think the kids left, and then the United stopped hockey. They wanted more Qataris into the federation at that time. So I think a lot of that credit goes to states. Hockey and
but Qatar is going to be a venue for
very to football. But what I find most striking in this group, really very, very striking of this group is we were all as one. We didn't have any war left in Kerala except those who used to come in the train to Tipper. So I know those guys were from Kerala. I don't think we had any other religion thing or reason like what is those, like, we didn't know where we were from, what are our backgrounds. Everybody was like one, and even I feel the same when I see the group. I think maybe it was good we didn't have too much of social media at that time. One thing, social media, maybe we didn't get, maybe we would have gone together earlier. Maybe we had so much of social media, but the good thing, we didn't have too much of social media, so we were all like, all one, and even now I think we are all like one. I think that was one of the biggest things I found in states. Even in REC, I found the differences. In Qatar, I find it.
We're all states
she bumped to Central Theatre with somebody. I can't believe those days people were doing it. She must have been a really great girl.
You never did?
No.
No bumping?
No.
During those inspection times?
These are quite on the quieter side.
They are not going down the train. I think we should go to have tea.
The guy in the back of you.
Welcome to you.
And another thing, Kiri said, thanks to us for coming. But I really say the effort they put in. If he did not come, it would have been a big crime if he not coming. They put in so much effort. Thank you guys. And well done.
As Nasa said, all credit to Giri and stains made us men. Life was tough. Hostel was real tough. We used to get bullied
All the time.
all the time. Yes. Not just vendors.
That's what, that is different.
You won't be sure how we're going to wake up the next morning. And I had polish, chewing gum, paste, hot paste again. I didn't know how to go to school next day, to trim my hair. And I was not that confident in school. But then we have to be grateful to our principal, Fowler, for insisting on not just academics, for sports also. That did a lot of good. Finally, Nasa, I played hockey and basketball for Malappuram district. None of you guys will believe. Probably that was the quality of those teams that got me in. Okay. And I remember a report when we had the inter-district match. It was played in Thrissur Engineering College. And the report was Malappuram district held on, kept Palakkad at bay by sheer grit. No game. Just hitting their legs and doing it in style. And that was one of the reports in the engineering class. And while playing basketball, we had a police team. The MSP, they were quite good. And team was okay. Did my engineering and set up my own business. One of them was started by my father making machines for rubber estates. And you won't believe it, I got two design registration and a product patent just by what I learned in physics in school. That helped me get a product patent. I and my cousin, we are together. We live in Kerala, 2 daughters. Elder one was working for she was a content creator for an advertising company. She realized that she's working so hard. She quit and she and my wife have teamed up together and set up a business adding value to agriculture products. We have our own farm, so they're adding value to agriculture products. They take the products from our farm and they don't pay me. They're least bothered about it. So small companies going well.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
And the second daughter is working in UK. She took up a pretty niche subject, transport planning and engineering. She did a master's there and I said, you won't get a job. It's too narrow a field. Fortunately, she got a job in got selected in the campus. States, once again, I repeat, really made us tough. We could handle any situation. When we reached college, I was very quiet at school, but then could dictate terms when we reached college, thanks to States. And it's nice meeting all of you again. The 25th year which home initiated was wonderful. Thanks to these two gentlemen, the effort that they put in. That's up to them. And as Nasa said, if we were in a crime if we did not turn up. I wanted to leave tomorrow because my daughter is leaving for UK 2 days down the line. And last night my daughter said, don't worry about me, you spend time with your friends. I'm going to be ready. That's a spirit that they have. Unbelievable the amount of conversation that goes on in the group. I cannot keep track. I don't know how many of you can. chats and then she said, you spend your time there. Don't come at times. Thank you once again. Thank you, Giri. Incidentally, we Australians speak very frequently, thanks to the Polachi gang. They are
we have a regular get together, borders have a regular get together, and mostly it's always my younger brother. Day scholars got up this time. Yeah, day scholars got up, but they had a cricket match. I think most of you know, they had a cricket match with us. That was the photo which was on my profile picture. And it was, I think most of them know about the cricket match. So we were able to win it. I don't think any of you were there. Thiru was there for the match. Who was there? Pati was there. It was very interesting. The match was very good. So they are challenging us to a reverse match because we won the match that day. And now they're challenging us again. Very new players, Dilo Fernandez and Lloyd Fernandez and the head and the former Tamil Nadu player Anand as captain. Now we had Jay Kumar, of course, he was also Tamil Nadu vice captain. He was our captain. Then they're calling us for a match against Bombay. So we'll have players like Peter and other guys representing us. We have to win the match. No question about it. And I think Rama is on the opposite side. This scholars are coming in.
I'm going to add that we should meet more frequently.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. None of us will be around 25 years down the line again. That's how we do it. We have any organized, that's not a problem. I think it was not a big effort at all. I can sit at home and do that. They are all here, we have done once. Whatever, once in a year. Once in a year, we'll stay. Maybe because once in 2 years. Once in 2 years, we'll have that video call. Every other week, stay. So all this will be what we call. Except for the
What do you place
No water, no food. Porridge.
Whatever we did there, we got.
And vendors.
Every now and then, luckily we all became prefix in nice time. So,
But not for you, I think.
we didn't read properly because we didn't know that we have to read. Starting was second thing. Reading was nothing. Actually, we went to Royal College, astonished with the way the students were. We had no better. You people are okay. But what is the moment rated? No human. Only games.
No, what is that? James Hardy Chase.
Sudden.
And then chase.
Very basic.
Suddenly chase.
The same filthy shots we have done to also be. The same filthy water.
You wash your water. No water to wash your palm also.
It's horrible. No, for the bog drop. A basin, one basin, two basins of water per month. No, two basins. Maximum it was around 4 basins. And after all the games, it was 2 basins of water to have. Cartload of water used to cost only 3 rupees. Even that they won't buy.
But now, Coimbatore had a water now.
Even then they were water.
I use water now in those days.
The drinking water was also now.
Everything. Even there was a ratio for drinking water. You can only drink so much.
But it really made us tough.
And then punctuality was maintained. Even now. Very punctual even now. So I am a practicing physician in Bolanchi. I got a daughter who is a gynecologist. She was working in Bangalore. So she got this male and female. You went to very quite well. Very thanks a lot for arranging this. And Ram is saying a lot. And we're very happy to have all of you here. Next time I will have an when are you going to be here?
2 years done.
You decided what we do here.
But nevertheless, you don't know how many are going to make it.
Yeah, another 2 years, I think everyone will make it.
Maybe after 5 years. Maybe after this one.
Yeah.
We'll decide that. We decide that later. But this is the best time for the meet.
Thanks, Bala.
Inside better.
What's the name? Now.
Now what?
I'm also.
That's
That's what my friends call me.
Very important point is
Except this guy.
what have been
Keeps on parroting.
He's not your friend, that's right.
I put up with it. What can I do?
what happens going on? Asking you, they go who Vrindavan, Parsuas, everyone only has PT.
After school, I went to farming. And then after that, I went to business. Did some business there. Didn't succeed too much, then I went to Dubai. Then started to there it was much easier to do business. There was all these problems. For about 15, 20 years, I used to Dubai. I have a son and daughter and 2 grandsons.
should treat this patient better. He needs better treatment.
Yeah, Bala has only focused on symptomatic treatment for this guy. But he doesn't deal with symptoms that he notices, only what he says. He's going to treat this side of it.
That has developed a lot, Ramesh.
You're saying I must see a shrink?
Not a bad idea.
Okay, that's it about me. I'm very happy that this has been organized by Giri.
What about
Started
Joe?
2 months back.
Joe?
He started talking to me. What is at the end? He's icing on the cake.
Okay.
You know him at the end.
And I really didn't think he was serious at the beginning. Then he kept on talking about it, then it started developing, and then one by one, everything all together. It happened, I'm very happy. I'm really happy to see him. I never thought and Joe coming all the way from Rangoon and man Kata. Not that easy. Special thanks. I should thank everybody. All have come. It's been real nice. I hope for next 2 days we have real fun.
England Murli can always drop the heads and there's a Murli. Who's Murli? He's in the side. Anyway, Peter over here.
Yeah, next day you get leaving.
Peter, come. Well, he was one of the shortest in school, as you know. Now look at this guy. Yeah.
Just taller than me.
Yeah, he was the shortest of the lot. He was all together. You're wrong, I am short there. You were short there also. See that guys are right extreme. No way, I am the shortest. Just above Anita. Yeah. Yeah, we are Peter.
I think down in the stand.
How time so high?
I think 2 or 3 of us, Abdul Nasser, myself, we were non-entities in school. We were so small, we have forgotten what. Yeah, you also. And of course, when we met after 25 years, a whole lot of everybody is asking, when did you grow? And I would just like to say a few interesting things from our school. As Bala said, we never studied. The only thing we did in the studies was book cricket, reading comics, or the semester. The moment our warden came, Dr. Melville, yes, as studious we have the books in front of us. That's about all.
No, this is top.
But see, I will just let us interesting, very interesting episode. I do not know how many of you may even recollect. It so happened one study, we had a science test, it was Matthew's test. I sat, there was nobody to disturb me, I studied. And just stay in the test, wrote it very well. After 2 days, the paper was corrected, and when the paper was being given out, I was waiting very eagerly to find out how much it got. I don't think any marks was marked for me. Mrs. Matthew gave me my paper and said, straight to my face, Peter, you have copied. Then I decided, studying is a very dangerous business. So, that is, I still tell this story to a lot of people. See, like we have come across so many different type of people, and each has got his own talent. And if you don't know what it is, that is one thing. And another thing is
Inborn talent.
Huh?
Inborn talent.
Yeah, inborn, God given.
God given.
Each is a unique creation, I would put it that. And when we were on boarding, we were to all sorts of mischief. And when Dr. Neville went on his furlough, the boys found out how to bunk convoys. On the window, there's a small, it was with what you call belted mirrors. And in the corner, there's a small cut where you can put your hand out to close the windows and things like that. And we used to, somebody found out that you put your head out first, you can pull your body up. So even when we went for the 25 years, we went to the room and we told the
Across the urinal.
across the urinal thing is coming, so let's work it. We used to run convoys, and people, our pocket money used to be 1 rupee or something like that, and movie tickets, the lowest ticket was 43 paisa, ticket. They used to bunk and they used to go for this. Just for the sake of bunking, and then the thrill of bunking, we used to go down the train pipes. And going regularly on it, there used to be 2 pipes. One is rainwater, and another is a urinal. People used to choose this pipe to go down. Unfortunately, it broke. Then they went down the urinal. That also had a crack and started leaking. So one boy will be chosen who will go down first. So he will be given a sheet and he has to go clean the pipe. And then the balance went down. You just imagine how desperate you are to get out. I think, but all this helped us to make what we are today. And from this, our class, we had, so in the plantation, I'm the plantation of the, my brother was the administrator. I think there are 3 people who went. Others are all got the different lines. Anyway, it has been very, very interesting journey down down the line. And when we started talking about this 50th year, the moment he said yes, I said I'm coming. Because 25 years we had come, and I think a few of you all couldn't make it. Because technology was not, we couldn't connect up the way we connected today. So, we are the lucky few who came. Anyway, I think at that meet, everybody said we should meet every 5 years. But we did not. We did. We are meeting after 5 years. So, let's see how it goes. I think all of us don't have many more years left. So let's hope we have some more get-togethers.
Thank you. Come on.
Good evening, guys. It's been wonderful catching up with everyone after a long time. I missed out on the 25th year, so I don't think 50th year I miss. You got it to something. So we started cracking, we got going, and here we are.
And he was the person, sorry, Rama, he was the person who asked you to start this.
And I was after him.
There's a lot of nudging, coaxing, cajoling, what us all here. Anyway, it's wonderful meeting up all you people again. Like Peter was saying, I work in plantations. I retired 3 years ago. I have a son, Gita, my right is there. I have a son who works in Kanthaloor in Bangalore. He's still a bachelor. Somebody asking me, are you grandfather? Not even father-in-law yet. Anyway, it's nice catching up. We have some fun the next 2 days. We meet up more often. Not just 5 years, 10 years, and all that stuff. Let's make it alternate years. What do you say?
Yes.
What's alternate years?
Yes.
24 again?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Nice catching up with you all. All the best. Take care.
You can be a grandfather without being a father-in-law.
How's that possible? And you're always quite yes. Still the same. I don't think he has changed much. Other than his he looks the same. He's still quiet. Hasn't changed, but we'll ask him to speak then anyway. He was not supposed to. You go to the night club. No, right? Yeah. Very happy to
join the speak. I was talk about me. I'm just like you can say that also average in studies, average in the only game I played was table tennis, and lot of games I played with Giri, and I think I have not won even one single game.
You got 5 points. You get 5 points, you're a winner.
It is 4 at least 5 points.
Yeah.
Or he has to play with that man.
I got one daughter, she's in Bangalore. I retired from Bangalore 2012 retirement. I spent my time playing chess and just for fun, I dabble in shares trading. That's all. Thank you.
Now, how is this dream? How do you feel? Give me a pulse.
It's really nice seeing all of us, and I hope we have a very good time.
Yeah, of course. Goes without saying.
Can we ask the spouses to say something about the husbands, how they are managing these days? I mean, that would be a good idea, isn't it, Peter? So I'm the first class. She's scared. She's scared. She is scared. No, I'm not scared of peace. Or does? Nanda, please come over, please. Come on here. Come. Yeah, just tell us how you handle. How you handle the swimming.
Steve should tell him how I handle it.
No, he has been always required there. And we want you to come on, Nanda, come on.
He's the victim, he needs to come. Sorry?
He said he's the boss. He has your permission to say that.
That's why I said he's the victim.
No, he said he has your permission.
Yes, the biryani man from Kanthaloor. Come over. Okay. Dear Ma, come on. Dear along with Rama has been very, very helpful. Always active. Come on, dear Ma. Come on.
Good evening, friends. Anyway, it's been a big job by Giri and Rama, and because of the company, we are all together today. And after schooling, I did my diploma and did my BE, and unfortunately, I had to go to my father's business. I have 2 sons. Eldest son is
What is this?
sports business. Today, it's very dirty business. So, what's dirty? Dirty. Sports goods.
What he feels he's saying.
No. Because today too many people have come into the field and only duplicates are available. Yeah.
What's the name of your shop?
National sports. Pardon? It was in the radio hall road. Now I am doing it from my house in Lasnagar to keep myself engaged. That's all. I have 2 sons. Elder son is a group product manager at Lupit Pharma, and second son is with Robert Paul. Yeah. Elder son is married, second is still not married. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks, Kiri, once again, and Rama, and all of you.
Thiru was with us from Sandal. What a great hockey player he was. We started together in the C team of Spain's. Then I stopped hockey and that and continued to play very good.
Good evening, friends. School life, school as a body, I was a hockey player. I was free life, school life, when I came out of the fields. I was a long time I did not face that. Suddenly, Prakash called me, he opened a company in Chakti Sugar Complex factory. 25 years I was looking at the company. And suddenly, because of COVID, I had to be close to the company. Then again I came up to the fields, took up my fields. Because my family, I have only one son, a software engineer in Chennai, is working for a German company. I was veterans of the state in Tampa. I thank Giri, Rama, for organizing this function. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Part of the hostel was, all these guys were really our friends, Bala and all that. Once they become prefects, they imagine that they are real big guys. They start acting tough. Giving points. Even right now. They give us points in the slide. Small mistake, they'll mark a point. Because they have to show that they're doing their job before long. Right? You see your name on the board. You're called for beggars. Bottom.
I think you have to speak again regarding the what is the right food.
Okay.
We'll call you up again. Then we'll have the industrial doctor, of course. Dr. Siva Shanmugam. Siva, come over. Have some breakfast for you, Siva. Come on, doc. As soon as they told me again, t-shirts, he said, Kiri, I want an XXL t-shirt. You must say, you said, and he wanted to move down because he couldn't climb 10 stairs. But he's my second class.
Yeah, good evening all. Really, quite honestly, I don't know what I have done in 65 years. Or 66. 17 years you know what to do. 66 years. Most of them was rather serendipitous or divine intervention, or some people have motivated me. Like in school, I was a very small, thin person, frightened. Anyone can bully me. And when I was in 6th standard, there was a guy known as Arjun Singh. He was a bully. He broke my head. And I had to take 6 stitches. And the doctor, he was a sadist, I think, because he gave 6 stitches without anesthesia. And then my uncle and my mother studied in sales. So we went and met Fowler. And Fowler, instead of being sympathetic and punishing Dalton, he looked at me and said, "Hey, Bravo, you are pathetic." This is what he said. That was the first time I thought, okay, I should also become big and strong. So I went up and went up to my grandfather and asked him, "Get me a budonka, I like to do exercises." And then I started doing exercises and I started growing, and that's how I become all this. That's my first. So Fowler was my first motivation. And as someone said, Mrs. Matthews, see, we had only 30 students in class. And my rank was always 27, 28. And I never really bothered because I used to read stories. And I was a very quiet child. And then what happened was, see, someone was talking. I was telling you a story. Yeah. Okay. So I was not too good in studies. So Matthews used to, she had some soft corner for me. During exams, I used to just be staring. She used to come and tap me on the shoulder and said, "Siva, I think you have a future in science." I was baffled. How come this lady is telling me this? But it worked out finally. And another motivator for me was Parvati Ramanathan, who was the sister of one of the ministers. She gave me a violin and asked me to play. And music really improved my studies. And within 1 or 2 years, I started improving. And then, I don't know how I got good marks in 12th standard. Quite honestly, with all these guys, Sudhir and other things. I got good marks. And I straight away went to Loyola College. And first shot I got medicine. And at that point of time, yes, it was very difficult and it was not so corrupted, so the merit was there. So I got into medicine. And then after that, I started doing general practice. And then I did my diabetology. That was also serendipitous because there is only one seat for Tamil Nadu. Because there are 4 seats, out of which 3 seats for general medicine people, MD, people who have finished MD. Bala would know that better. And 1 seat for non-service candidate. I was the only person who got it. And the full credit for that motivator was my wife. Because she felt that I had the talent, but I was not utilizing it. After that, I entered industry. I was such a frightened character. But the first I entered industry, that was also serendipitous. I just went there, it was Simpsons, 10,000 workers. As soon as I entered, a batch of people came in. They said, how long do you think you will live? How long do you think you will work here? Because 10 years back, they killed a doctor there in the premises, in the medical center. But without the motivators, I would never have answered this question. I told them, 5 of you have come. If I go, I'll take 2 of you together. Whether we believe it or not, after 1 or 2 years, all these guys became my friends. And then I worked in Caterpillar for 2 years and also completed my career of 22 years in Wheels India, TVS. I have done quite a lot of courses, motivated myself. I had a lot of motivators, like my daughter. I have a daughter and a son. She is also a great motivator. Even yesterday, she came to the bus to make sure that I am going to this function. And she said, don't worry. And she went to the driver and told him, my father does not know anything. Please take care of him. She's married, she's got 2 children. The elder one is going to 6th standard. He's a super kid. And I have a granddaughter. She's in 4th standard. And I'm rather scared, shit scared. Sorry for using bad words. I'm scared because they are too well read and they have a different platform. I just tell them, okay, come, I'll teach you chess. You know what these people do? They'll do all the online training and then come and teach me chess. So I think grandfathers to be need to be careful. You need to prepare yourself more. Wives are okay, but grandchildren are terrorists. And I have a son, he's 6'5".
So they call you a terrorist?
6'5". 6 feet 5 inches. And for the past 5 years I've been trying to get him married. Everyone says he looks good. He does not look like me. He is very good looking. But unfortunately, getting a girl is quite difficult these days. 6'5".
In a short 6'5", it's difficult to get a bride.
That's what's happening. So many things that have happened in life, not only for me, for others. It is not that you are doing something. It is serendipitous. It's a design, nature's design. So for which I am very grateful. And Joe is laughing. He is telling what this guy is coming back all nonsense. So once again I thank you all, especially the ladies. I think these people are bored up. So I think people have to come and talk and teach us something more of how to be more kind to our wives. Sudhir is laughing now, but I don't know how he is. So thank you all, and I wish you enjoy this function. And as they say, we should have this function at least once in 5 years, 3 years if possible. And before I can give this to someone else, I like to thank all the organizers, people who have participated, who have come here from distance and near, and also people who tried to come but could not come. I thank all of you. Thank you.
My son is 6'5" and up. He got tall height, so you the Sandal once again.
Other person is, who left school a little Manjula, short guy, I think most of you will remember him. He's from Bangalore. He wanted to come and then he couldn't come. These two guys, older and he spoke to me yesterday. But then, of course, Paresh Kaga, he wanted to come. He wanted me to postpone this meet, saying that I'll come back and then we'll have to meet later. We had already postponed it because of his daughter's wedding. Then we couldn't do it further, so we have to stick to the dates. So I told him, sorry, we got to send him a t-shirt when he comes back. And Kushinda, for you, Kushinda. One of the organizers of the last meet. Who? Me. One of the organizers of the last meet. He's a sweet man, no?
Yeah. So, good evening, everybody. So, I think most of you all made it for the last meet, the Silver Jubilee meet, and of course, some of you all I didn't see the last meet, of course. So, welcome to all of them who we missed out last time. And of course, this time Giri and his group have taken a lot of interest to get all of us together and literally coaxed us that we should make it. So, full marks to them for that. And coming to the family, I actually have got a daughter. And she's settled in Canada. I've got an 8.5-year-old grandson. And of course, I'm in the business of property development. And I think that's all. And of course, nice to see all of you all here. And some of you all are with the spouses. So next time, we should see that all of us come with our spouses and make it more merry. That is what I would request everybody. And if possible, with children, grandchildren also, so that it is more the merrier. And thank you once again to everybody for making it. And thanks to the people who sent their best wishes to us also. And hope we meet every 2 years as Rama has promised. So thank you once again.
That's a very good suggestion. Coming with children and grandchildren. That's a fantastic suggestion.
It became a family meet.
Yeah. So that they can also meet the
very good suggestion.
Very good.
I hope everyone takes them seriously.
Yes, no, we are taking it seriously. Whoever can make it, let us know.
Of course, we lost track of one guy for quite a long time. And he was learning actually also, but he was Bob has come here. He's got a lot to talk to. He's got a lot to talk to. So we need him badly. And yes,
Good evening. I'm Bhuvneshwar. We are all part of a school. Actually, two of my brothers, myself, and my sister study Christians. So every time we meet, we keep talking about school. And that was actually more motivation for me to come here. I wanted to meet old friends because all my brothers will talk about school. My elder brother was Muniprasad, Kevalram, and my younger brother was and my sister was Ravichitra, all from Stains. So Stains are full family loves it, and that is one of the reasons I wanted to come. And thanks to Giri and Ramakrishna who invited me and made it possible for me to come here. And about my personal life, one wife, one daughter, and one grandson. My daughter is in Bangalore. And that's it. Nothing else.
Nothing you cannot get it. No joke.
Of course, well known MGR. Better known as Kanthaloor. Nice of you to have come in here. A lot of health problems, in spite of all that. Come over here. Come. Sit and talk.
My name is Kanthaloor, better known as MGR to all of you.
How come you got that name? It comes to a name, G.M. Jnana Pradiptan.
No, actually, Mr. Thomas and Bob. They christened me as MGR. Because I'm joining school on third day. Don't go there. Mr. Thomas. I had a fight with him. So I think you know about Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
So he was told to report the dog. He reported the matter to Doc, and Doc asked me, what did you do? I told him a mistake. I told him to get lost. Actually, I was writing a letter. He asked me for a letter, I said, get lost. He got angry with it, and he reported the matter to Doc. Since my initial is MG, so this fellow looks more like a rowdy. Christian and MGR. That's why I became MGR. Not MG Ramachandran. But MG, the great rowdy. I left school along with all of you. Then after some time, roaming around Kanthaloor. Then I left Kanthaloor, went to Chennai, joined the railways. Now retired in 2014. I'm just simply sitting at home, killing time with talking with Didi and people like. And I'm very happy to come here. And I thank one and all of you for giving me the opportunity to be with you after around 50 years. Thank you very much.
Tell us how you survived your health assets. Health assets.
Why you don't talk about all this now?
Yeah, right.
At a happy moment like this.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We're terrified.
Murli, what was more of very special. Murli, he was in the Mexico. When someday I was in Madras. And Papa after that he gave me a so looking at my PPT is very PPT is just Yes, PPT. Ask.
He needs no shots of this to talk.
And of course, the last person will have this process again. Would no, next to the last, Joe to say, we'll keep that.
No, I have not said anything.
Because yes, that's we'll keep the icing on the cake. Because he had a lot of stories also. He came later, but we heard 25 years back. We want to hear that once again, Joe. This way, we cannot forget that. You have doubled and Joe, come over, Joe.
Now you're going to come over.
Yeah, come over. Just
I want to know what you have to say.
Come over. Keep on speaking. No problem.
I think we are
That's a problem. That's a problem. I don't know why come over. Being made out of Joe, do you want your stories on how Randall explains what he showed them, how achieved your...
But they're repeats. Where's come man?
He was the star of the last show.
Wait, when I say
Yes. I
do something like that.
Okay, good evening everybody. I think there are lots of ladies around, but please forgive me for what I say and what I do. I think you're all adults just like me, so there is nothing to hide and nothing to... Right? So can you just come walk past? Okay, so what I have just now demonstrated was what myself and Bodhanu Radhakrishnan used to practice every afternoon in 11B when Mrs. Michael would walk past. Oh. So she would, when she would walk past, in 11B there's a big window. So we would watch from the window. As soon as we would see her walking past, both of us would get ready and we would just do like this to make sure that we were able to touch her. So many days we used to miss, because our hand would go first and she hadn't reached the spot. So the next day again we would.
Your timing was wrong, is it?
So next day, Radhakrishnan and myself again practice. Timing was wrong. So again, Mrs. Michael would walk past, and we would. And the days we were able to touch her, it was like a big achievement. So that was the kind of experiences I had in States. Okay. Now the other day, Ramesh asked in the post, why did I owe my life to Mr. Fowler? Right? Okay, maybe some of the stories I'm saying might be a repeat what I said. So I think you can sit down. No, that's fine. I owe everything to Mr. Fowler for one reason. That when we first came from Thailand to India, right? What happened was, no school was willing to give me an admission because I did not know Tamil or Hindi. So all schools were scared that their results would get affected because I had finished my 9th in Thailand. So obviously I was supposed to do 10th in India. So they were scared to give me admission because the results would be affected because I didn't know Tamil or Hindi. So, when we were transferred, when my father was transferred to Coimbatore, all his friends took my father to Mani High School, Tikani, Kamal Garden, you name all the schools in Coimbatore. Every school rejected me. But they took my brothers because they were in younger classes. So my final resort was, there were no other schools in Coimbatore anymore because everybody said, you cannot admit your son in a rowdy school, which was Staines. Right? They said, you should not admit your son in a rowdy school. So my father was very reluctant to take me to Staines because everybody said it was a rowdy school. So finally my father even came to the decision that, okay, if I did not find admission, we might as well go back to Burma because there was no education for me. So my father almost decided that we would return back to Burma because it was a rowdy school. But last resort, finally when nothing was available, my father went to Staines and met Mr. Fowler and told Mr. Fowler about the problem. And Mr. Fowler said, look, I'm running an educational institution. I am here to educate people. I am not here for results or marks. Come, bring your son. It doesn't matter even if you fail. I don't care whether Staines gets 0% results. But my job is to educate everybody who came to the school. So that was his condition, and that's how I got into Staines as a last resort. But with one condition that whenever the inspector of schools would come, I should not come to the school for 2 days. Okay? Because I was not on the rolls of the school. So I joined 10th in the middle because that's when I came to India. In the middle of June of 10th standard I came, so I was not on the rolls because my recognition from Thailand to India hadn't come as yet. So I was not in the rows, though I was your classmate. Okay? So then the inspectors came, and when the inspectors came, Mr. Fowler called me and said, don't come for 2 days. So I was hiding at home, because they could not show me as a student of Staines. And I passed 10th standard, came to 11, still I was not your classmate legally, because my recognition hadn't come. By then, Mr. Fowler had retired and ST had become the principal. Then sometime in the month of June again, ST called me and said, look, you better leave the school because there was no recognition. So exams are going to come in November, so I cannot register you for the exams. But luckily for me, the recognition came, and that's how I was allowed to be admitted into Staines officially and then appear for the exams. So, but for Mr. Fowler's one act of his, you would have not gone back to Burma, because nobody was willing to give me admission. And now, how did Mr. Fowler give me admission? Because he found out that in Anglo-Indian schools, you could do French as a second language. I had done French in Thailand, so I joined Staines. So Mr. Fowler said, choose Tamil or Hindi, whichever class you want, you go and sit, but I don't want you to be outside the classroom. Choose anything and sit. So I sat in the class of my mentor, whose words I follow still today, right? That is Mr. Great Swami Kanu. So I sat in his Hindi class, okay? And I followed his dictum till today, right? Why, how, when you have the milk in the market. So that was what he taught me in the Hindi class. So from 10th standard Hindi class, what I learned till 2022, my guru is there.
Still there, only my guru.
Okay.
Very studious guy.
Yeah. But my initiation to Staines is even more remarkable. Okay? So Mr. Fowler sent me to 10th standard class. That was the sports time, you know. We had 1 month everybody would be playing games. Either boxing or this or that. Every whole day would be games. So I was pushed into the first floor room in the 10th standard, and the only table I got was against the wall. Right? That was like this was the table that I got. So this was the blackboard, and my table was here, and behind me was Sivashamgam. Okay. As soon as I sat there, I still don't know after 50 years who did it, but there was a missile that was thrown at me. It was a book cover which was torn and thrown straight like that, like a hard missile which came straight into my body. And I just saw it and I ducked it, and the book went and hit the wall. You know, that was my first initiation into this rowdy school. And then at that time, Siva was in Panther's house. So that evening there was a football match. So Siva said, join Panthers. I'm in Panthers, so you play football for Panthers. So that was how I played football that evening, and the rest is, as you know, history. I played football continuously for Staines as well as later on in colleges. So, but this great rowdy school that people spoke of, where we had this wonderful uniform of khaki, right? Sometimes people used to misunderstand us as either watchmen or as bus conductors, all kinds of things. We had that wonderful uniform. But later on, my brothers were in the slave school of Bunny High School, and they used to curse my father for not putting them in Staines, right? Staines became a hero school for us. All my experiences, even though I spent only 1.5 years, right? was a great experience, and that transformed my life altogether. And some of the greatest friends I have in this world today are all from Staines. Okay? Now, Mr. Fowler being what he was really instrumental because I met him after he retired. He was the head of Anglo-Indian Schools Board, and he came to Madras, and I went and met him in one of the sports meets, and he pulled a chair, made me sit next to him, and gave me all the coffee, sweet, whatever he had to me, and he put his hands around me, even after he had retired. You know, that was the love that he had for any Stainite. So I am really grateful to Mr. Fowler that till today, for 50 years now, I pray for him. I'm a Buddhist, but I pray for him every single day for the last 50 years. Right? So that's without a break, without one day break, I've been praying for Mr. Fowler for his. Now, like Mrs. Michael's experience, there are so many. One more I can tell you, otherwise I'm taking too much of your time.
That's okay.
Right?
So please continue.
That one is called, pardon me, all the ladies at the back, that one is called Thailand. Right? So this, I had wonderful colleagues. Sushant was one, Raymond Palazzo was one, and then again Radha Krishnan was one. He failed in the 10th. He failed.
Thanks to you.
He must done his PhD in school itself. He is from Bodhanu. He failed and he stayed back in 10th.
He lost it.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll tell you about Thailand. It's a beautiful story. Anita was really included in the Thailand list. Okay, the Thailand contenders were, please don't mind. Okay. Thailand contenders were June Neto. Okay. Sunita Kalro, you know, and Helena Fernandez. So such wonderful women were part of the Thailand. That is, when they would come down from the first floor down the staircase, we guys would be sitting on the ground and looking up.
And they would hold their skirts very tight.
Yeah, they would hold the skirts like this and they would walk, because the candidates walked looking at Thailand. Without going to Bangkok, they were looking at Thailand.
Near the hall.
That was the education that I got from Staines, and that made me into a better human being. Right? Because I came from Thailand and I saw Thailand live also.
It's difficult to believe.
Because their classes were upstairs.
Yeah.
All these classes.
But that, I said, you know, Anita was not a candidate. Disqualified. But having said that, let me now go back to the story that I said 25 years ago about Anita Bose. You know, Om and Jagannath one day got in touch with me and said, look, we are trying to locate Anita Bose. She is supposed to be in Chennai. Can you try to locate Anita Bose? So I said, sure, why not? I will do that. You know. So Om rang me up and said, I believe Anita Bose is in Chennai, please trace her. So I said, give me some data. So he said, no, she's become a nun.
That's a different
I told you. So I took my niece. I said, Anita Bose becoming a nun, maybe a love failure. What else could that be? You know, how else would Anita Bose become a nun unless it was a love failure? So anyway, since Om, my good friend who's no more, directed me, so I went to the Pentecostal church on Sunday with my niece. My niece was 7 years old at the time. I took her, so I said, okay, I'm going to serve for my classmates. So come, sister. So I took her on the bike and I went there. And that Sunday, I could not, it was not possible. So they said, come the next Sunday. So the following Sunday I went. And when I went at 9 o'clock, they said, no, Mass has just started. It will finish only at 12 p.m. So come back at that time. So I took back my niece, and then again we went back at about 11:30, and we were sitting there waiting for Anita Bose to come out from the Mass.
The nun.
Okay? The nun. So the nun Anita Bose. Right? So we waited. My niece said, what happened? Already 12 o'clock, people are all white and white gates are coming down, going up, coming down, going up. I was going on looking for the beautiful Anita Bose. No signs of Anita Bose anywhere. Then at 12:30 I went and asked, I've been waiting for 1 hour for Anita Bose. No, didn't you see her? She went past. So I said, I'm sorry, I missed, so can you just tell her to come again? No, she's eating now, so you have to wait. So I waited. And then afterwards, somebody, what to do? Anita Bose being Anita Bose, I had to wait. So if it was any other person, I would have walked out. So then, after some time, when I sat there, he went and called us. It came. Then again, I said, what happened? She just came. She said, no, I haven't observed her. No, she just went past. I said, no, ma'am, please call her. So again they went, and then this time, the Anita Bose that came seems to have gone to Africa and come back. I'm sorry to use the racial prejudice words, but she was jet black. So I said, how could Anita Bose get a tan like this? From Coimbatore, Tata Ghat to Chennai, how could she become dark overnight? And that was a nun. Then the girl said, who's looking for me? So I got up and I said, are you Anita Bose? He said, yes. So here there was a lady in white sari, jet black, who was telling me that, are you from States? I said, were you from States? He said, yes. What is this? Then I didn't know what to do. So I said, did you pass out in 1972? Then she said, no. Thank God. Anita Bose had not had luck here. Anita Bose had not gone through a tanning process.
Who was that Anita Bose actually?
Principal Bernard there was one Anita Bose, she studied in States, and finally she went to Francis.
Delita and Anita, both were there. Oh, both were there.
Then she went to Francis. She went to Francis and passed out from Francis school, not from States. So finally, I was so relieved. This is not Anita Bose. So I called up home and fired him. You made me waste 2 Sundays going around for the wrong Anita Bose, right? So finally I said, no, you all are chasing the wrong people. You better find someone else. Then after a great search, they found the real Anita Bose. Yeah, Thomas Daniel finally.
From where?
That's another story.
Can we hear that?
We'll talk about it. Okay, Joe.
Later on. Joe, tell us, how did you deal with Richard White when we were trying that on this mic?
Which one?
How did you deal with Richard White when you were trying that with this mic?
Yeah.
That too is a boxer.
Yeah, I know.
We were all guys on Stains. So Stains being Stains, I think all of you should be very grateful. So when we had this 25 years reunion, it was wonderful. Okay? At that time, I wondered whether I would live to see the Golden Jubilee. Okay, at that time. But then I'm lucky, like all of you, to be here today to be celebrating the Golden Jubilee get together, right? And I'm also sorry to say that some of us who were there in the 25th year celebration have not been able to make it to this Golden Jubilee. So we should all be thankful that we are alive today to celebrate this Golden Jubilee and be here together again, because this is an opportunity that can never come. So I decided from Burma that I must somehow make it, you know, because it would be like just now, as what Casa says, it would be a crime if we had missed it. So I decided to come for this particular event, because come what may, you know, we can never recreate this, right? This is a golden jubilee, and it's a golden opportunity for all of us, right? And much more than being a golden jubilee, I think it is the fact that we should all be proud that we are Stanites. I think that is much more important. Okay? I think there are thousands and thousands and thousands of schools, millions of schools in the world, but I think Staines is very unique. Right? It may be a khaki and khaki school, but doesn't matter. It's still one of the best schools and the best friends we have had. Right? In my life, as I said, Staines would never go away from my life because of Mr. Fowler, and also because of two of my classmates whom I would like to acknowledge now. Yeah? One of them is not here, he couldn't come. Right? He's none other than Jagannath, who for 50 years we have been, you know, he has been my greatest friend. In school, if you look at that photo of Jagannath there, he's somewhere, hidden somewhere. But when we reached Loyola College for PUC, I was playing football for Loyola, and then I needed a place to keep my shoes and things. And he immediately offered his room, and he said, "Here is the room key, you keep, and you can take your shoes and you can do everything." And so I literally lived in his room. I was a day scholar, he was a hostelite. And then suddenly he realized that the pocket money given by my father was very, very less. Okay, so that my father couldn't afford to give me more. So it was Jagannath who bought mess coupons for me, and the whole year, the whole CUC, it was he who fed me, so to say, lunch. His mother and all did not know why the mess fees were so high. Because he was also buying lunch for me, you know. And continuously throughout these 50 years, whenever I would be in trouble, he was there to help me out. And another person who has helped me from my Staines group, and he's here today, is Sudhi Kamath. Right? Now, when I was going through severe difficulties with my eyes, and it was Sudhi who came forward and took care of all my expenses for the treatment. Right? And he also told me, and he refused to take back what he had given to me for my treatment, because that time, you know, like all of us, we have ups and downs in life, right? So some of the times when I was down, he came forward to help me, so I'm forever grateful to him for what he has done to me. You know? So, as I said, our group is really a great group because we are here to help each other. And when this group thing was being floated, and I heard that carbon gas was not doing well, I had made up my mind that when I came here, I would discuss with you and see whether I could contribute for his medical treatment. But so sad to hear just now that he had passed away. So life is very fragile.
But his wife is in very difficult circumstances right now.
That helped considerably.
Extremely difficult circumstances.
So we try to help.
We need help.
We try to help.
Where's she now? Europe. She got Europe.
We try to help.
She's been, I think, also asked to vacate the house and all that.
So you see, one thing was...
Who can't guess the wife? She herself told me. Oh, she spoke to you there very well.
So I think one of the things that we all must try to do is, like what Sudhi did or like what Jagannath did, I think all of us must rise up to the occasion to help each other when we are in difficulties. You know, after all, we are all friends together. We have shared the same joys and the troubles together. So we must help. Like now, Karthik is why I think we must do something to help. So I think that is, to me, it is part of our duty and also part of being a Stainite, so to say. Right? So Stains has given us so many different stories. I don't want to take too much of your time because otherwise it won't be fair on others. Right? If I keep telling you different experiences about Stains, which are plenty, and of course it cannot go without I talk, you talk, why you center talking, right? Yes. The poor man is no longer with us, right? Palaniswamy, but he had contributed to lots of funny things around in Stains. Right? One of the things one of the things I can share is Murli was there. I think Watson was also there. We were in spectacular sports in Yerkot, right? So there was a beautiful lady called Mrs. Boson, right? Mr. Boson was the NIS athletic coach of Montfort School, and Mrs. Boson was also there. And Palaniswamy immediately fell for her. Okay, so he would not leave her at all. He would continuously be behind her because she was so good looking, right? So one time when there was a long jump, okay, somebody jumped, and Mrs. Boson innocently asked, how much? You know? So Palaniswamy, without knowing anything, just because he wanted to strike a conversation with her, 27 feet. Raymond Pranasa said, sir, are you world record, sir? Hey, hold it. I'm talking to, why are you talking to sir? Are you world record, sir? Yeah. So, and then Montfort and the neighbor school is St. Joseph's. So, as states, we could not keep quiet. Right? So we jumped over the Montfort and went to pluck oranges. It was only to get closer to the St. Joseph's girls, and we were all caught. And found out that all those who were caught were from Stains. Okay? So Ratnavelu wanted to send all of us back. Kick us out from rectangular sports and said, get out. Go back to Stains. But then it was Palaniswamy who came to our rescue and said, no. So like that, we have done all kinds of nonsense in Stains, but still Stains is Stains. I'm very proud of being a Stainite. I think it has given us wonderful memories and greatest joys in life. Am I right? I hope all of you agree with me. One way or other, it has given us greatest joys in our life. I think we should all be proud of it. Correct? And as I said, I owe my life to Mr. Fowler, so I would never give him up in my life. I would always remember him. Yeah? I think he is the greatest educationist. Because if you look around today, every school is looking only for results. Okay? Now, I should not talk about people who are no longer alive, but I wanted to institute a scholarship after the Silver Jubilee celebration, so I approached Mr. Bernard and I said I wanted to institute a scholarship for class of 72. I said I would put in some money, and from the interest, I wanted him to pay the school fees of the sports persons in Stains, because I had got so much out of sports from Stains. So I wanted to give back something to the sportsmen in Stains. So I said the best sports students to be given school fees from the scholarship that I was going to institute called Class of 72. But Mr. Bernard surprised me by saying that no, after 9th standard we don't allow students to play for the school team. So I said, what? After 9 they can't play for school team? He said, yes, they all have to study. Studies are very important, so we don't allow people to play after 9th standard. Come on. We all played sports in Stains throughout our lives. Right? Mr. Fowler would close the school for 1 month for us to play. And here was the principal who was telling me that after 9 nobody could play sports for teams. So I immediately withdrew my plans. You know. So here was Mr. Fowler who did not care for results. Right? His job was only to educate anybody who wanted to study. I think so we have gone through that generation, and I think we must always have a good thought for him. Yeah? But then before I end, let me tell you that I had a wonderful opportunity which all of you were very, very jealous at that time. Maybe not the people who are sitting here, but others. Because ST had 2 beautiful daughters. Right? Now ST was very, very careful that no Stanite would ever get in touch with his daughters. Right? His daughters were studying in Krishnamani College. Yes.
They are from strangers.
Yeah. So now how ST would not allow anybody to go to his house after he became the principal. But I was the only privileged person because who would teach me French in Staines? There was no French teacher in Staines. And I had to do French for my 11th exams. So the French teacher who was identified was Lionel Thomas, the son of ST. Right? So ST would invite me to come for French class, to his house.
Not knowing the
So I was the only student who was privileged to go to ST's house. Right? So all the Staines guys, especially Raymond Palazzo and the whole lot of them, would always say, "Does she bend down?" So those are the lovely jokes we had. Right? Does she speak to you? Does she say something to you? Right? So ST's daughters was the privileged lot in Staines, and we had an opportunity. I had an opportunity to be part of that as well. Right? So it was all great. Those are all innocent days. Right? Great fun. And
not so innocent days.
But then I don't want to tell about the love story of one of our colleagues who's not here today, who wanted to come but who did not come. I think he would not mind if I say so. Just for 2 more minutes I'll take. He fell in love with someone from St. Joseph's School or St. Francis, I forgot. I would reveal the name later, okay? So those days, our love affairs were very good, you know. Wonderful. Now today it's so boring. What is this chat, WhatsApp, mobile phone, all lousy love stories, you know. Those days, if you love someone, it was like an adventure, no? So how to pass on a love letter to another one, right? So my great Stanite classmate was as well. We had to invent how to give that love letter to that girl. Right? So she used to live near my house, so in Saibaba Colony. So she would come walking in the evening and she would go past my house. Right? Now our famous classmate had to hand over the love letter without anybody noticing or seeing that what he was doing. So what to do? That girl, like I'm sure all the ladies at the back would agree, we always drop handkerchiefs sometimes from our pockets. It's common, isn't it? Sometimes I also drop a handkerchief like that, isn't it? So she would drop promptly a handkerchief on the ground, and at that time she would also drop one letter, okay, on the ground, and she would walk past. She would pick up a handkerchief, drop the letter and go. So we would run and pick up that letter, and this guy would now how to reply? So she would come back, so we would throw a ball, in such a way that the ball would fall just there. And then he would, while going and picking up the ball, I would throw one I would do it as a, agent. I would drop the letter there, pick up the ball and come. And then this girl would walk past and sometimes I wouldn't pick up the ball, so she herself would pick up the ball and this letter and she would read and So those days, this love story was going on. Opposite my house, various ways of throwing this letter on the road. Yeah? Reveal the name. So this went on, and the person failed in the 10th standard along with us. So he failed, she failed. She also failed in the 10th, he also failed in the 10th. So he dropped off and he didn't come with us to the 11th. Now tell me who that person is.
Very good.
I ask me. He comes to the 11th with us.
He didn't come to the 11th, but
He was in the 10th with us. He was in the 10th with us because of all this dropping of letters.
He got dropped.
He dropped himself. He dropped himself.
He also lived in Cyber College.
You tell me the person.
No, but we have a regret. You never know these things in 9th standard, 10th standard.
He wasn't there.
You have also done something.
You know that 10th to
break something.
No, he came with the 10th. You guys are not thinking enough.
Tell me what is it?
I'm asking to think.
Daniel. Thomas Daniel.
Thomas Daniel.
He was there. He was in the.
No, he failed in the 10th. He failed in the 10th. That's why you don't see his photo there.
I think that was the best.
See, that's why you don't see it.
You don't see my photo there either.
That's because you didn't come.
He was different to me. He's still sending his grandson to school.
He sent all the pictures also.
Who was the girl?
Who was the girl? That girl later on became my girlfriend. That's another story. Finally, Thomas Daniel was beaten black and blue by his father. Seriously.
Very strict father, very strict.
Seriously, he beat him up fully and I was not allowed anywhere near his house for 5 months. Because I was a culprit of this love affair. So I was not allowed anywhere near his house.
Let's say you took the chance.
No, that was after 10 years. So anyway, I'm just telling you, I have full stories about stains. Maybe some other next gathering.
You say who's the girl?
Joint school late. Joint school late. But the latest school is I think you know. That was the number one. You joined school this class with a lot of state.
I joined state.
He's watching. Great.
I don't
Christians on the watching.
The power's gone off.
Christian is on the line today. He's watching the proceedings.
I don't think my stories will carry any more spice after Joe's performance. Wonderful. I should have spoken before. Probably we'll do it tomorrow. We have the whole time.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow. Let's take in what Joe said.
Yeah.
I
think each day we can have some fun.
Lot of things to learn.
So, Christian is on the line tomorrow. Give it at this age. Put on with the Ramesh, please.
We got to admit that this guy lived his life. This guy lived his life in states.
Yeah. 1.5 years.
Put a picture.
I was
Cake is on the line.
And he's told the ML of his girlfriend also.
Rama, how do you do it? Come. Rama.
He just said he's online. You'll be watching that.
Is it?
I'm online, I'm watching it. No, you can WhatsApp him and make a WhatsApp video call.
WhatsApp video call or Skype?
Yeah. Call him WhatsApp video.
Go to Skype also. Skype.
Cool.
I got the key. Skype.
You're feeling cold. You're not feeling cold. Yeah.
Morning 6 o'clock we go for a walk.
No, we don't.
Watch at 9:30. Sightseeing and walking. Maybe 6:30. 7:30 we meeting again. The evening. Get together at 6:30 tomorrow. Morning. Yeah, morning. She